So where do I begin? Ugh. Well, as you can probably see, I got the bike finished. The latest part with the brake calipers. There are these tiny little metal plates inside the caliper where they have like little bumps on them where they're bent, intentionally bent, where the little nubs on the on the brake pads are supposed to slide right into those little grooves or bends so they can be properly lined up. Well, one of those little springs is slightly bent in a way it shouldn't be bent. It caused a sort of rhythmic scraping sound when I was braking, as well as rattling the brake pads since it now had vertical travel when it shouldn't. It also sort of reduced my braking power by about 1/3. So it reduced it by about 66%, which was a bit scary when I first applied it because I'm going, why am I not stopping? But yeah. Luckily I didn't take her on any Luckily I didn't take her on any roads until I was confident that she could survive. But once I knew she was sort of okay to go for a real world test, I took her to Safeway, and I was so impressed with how well she did, I decided to go all the way to Coopville. I don't expect any of you to know where that is. New brake pads, Galfer sintered brake pads, which are nice. They should give me superior braking power over my old ones, and considering my bike can already stop very quickly, now she should be able to stop even better. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, the front wheel. So all the used wheels from like eBay and stuff for the 2006 V-Strom, they were all damaged, scuffed up, dented, been in crashes like the one I had. And I'm like, what the hell? I can't use these. They are damaged. Damaged as in they will most likely impact the operation of the motorcycle damaged, not cosmetically damaged. So then I'm like, well, are there any other wheels I can use? And then I learned that my dad's bike, which is a 2008 V-Strom, basically the next generation, is almost exactly the same, except his bike, not his exact bike, but that model can have ABS. So I took a look at his front wheel and his forks, and took a look at my front wheel and my forks, and I thought, well, what if I can use a 2007 wheel? Because the 2007 and 2008 are all the same wheel. So I did a bunch of searching and researching and whatnot, and it turns out I could buy a used 2007 front wheel, but since it has a larger hub to be able to fit the ABS sensor, I will have to get different brake rotors because there are different mounting points. So anyway, I got new brake rotors, and I also found out my pads were going a bit low, so I also replaced my pads. And what else is it? Oh yeah, the 2007 wheel, turns out, actually takes less parts. But since I got a new wheel, I decided to get new bearings, because all it takes is a spacer, 2 bearings, and a dust seal. That's it. I was actually surprised at how little parts. And it was a direct swap to use the exact same axle. That sort of sealed the deal on whether or not I could use it or not. And it could fit the 2006 brake calipers, which they do. Which means, and it's also the same width, which means it was a direct swap. So I decided to take a little bit of a gamble, and instead of spending $650 for a new wheel, I spent $700 for a new used wheel that was in usable condition, new brake rotors, and all-around new brake pads for just under $700. In my opinion, like $40 more for a hell of a lot newer stuff is well worth it. And, my brake pads were going away anyway, so I would have spent more money regardless. I did, however, have to get a new windshield. Now, here's something funny that happened with the windshield. I kept it in its box for months because I didn't want to damage it. So I took it out of its box to mount it to the bike. Right as I was putting the first bolt in, my butterfingers dropped it on concrete. So now, as you might be able to see, there are, slight chips and scratches all around the bike, or all around the windshield. I was not happy about that. But I had nobody else to blame but myself, so now I have to deal with it. I didn't get mad, I was just more of, oh, you've got to be kidding me, sort of ordeal. I also took some of the settlement money and invested in the Senate Tube, like I said, which in my opinion is well worth it because now I have a camera on me all the time. So that way, in case somebody does something stupid, causes me to crash, or, you know, just does something stupid in general, I can go, hey police, look at this! I have a camera! And the best part is that people think it's a flashlight.